What did I say? What did I say, WWE? You weren't listening, were you? When I said last week that last week's Raw wouldn't be the lowest in history, only because it had the buffer, the benefit of being the night after Survivor Series, the night after a pay-per-view. That's why last week's episode, despite being a worse episode than this week, was actually not the lowest of all time. However, I said this Monday night, last Monday, the other day, that night's Raw would be the top 3 lowest of all time. You can go back and pull the clip if you want. I said it would become the top 3 lowest all time. I guarantee it, because it's the week after that horrifically terrible Raw. And what happened? Here we are. For the 3rd time, I believe, this year, Raw broke its own record. Last night's Raw, December 3rd, 2018, the worst rating for Raw in WWE Raw history. Longest episodic running television program has now had its worst ever rating after beating the worst ever rating this year. It's not easy. It's not hard to predict this. Survivor Series, 100 to 200,000 more people watched that Raw because it was the night after Survivor Series. And it was one of the worst Raws I'd ever seen. No doubt that there would be backlash the week after, and there has been. If trends keep up the way they've been, it's possible that next week could be slightly better than this week. The trend is usually it goes up a little bit, especially when people hear that last week's was the lowest rated. They almost want to tune in to see the car crash. So there's a large chance that next week will be better by 200,000 viewers next week. However, there is a chance that we could hit the first ever dropping trend. There is a very real possibility that this could be a downward spiral finally, as we're into December, one of the worst months in WWE of the year. And for all the idiots who are going to write in the comments section, well, Joe, it's December, so WWE never does well. Well, the lowest rating of all time already happened months ago that was not December. So it's really not that big a deal. They've already done this year. This isn't a new thing that, just suddenly all the planets align for Monday Night Football and December Raws and things like that. It's everything. The WWE Raw draws lowest rating in viewership history. Wrestling Inc., WrestleZone, and everywhere. That is incredibly bad, incredibly piss poor for the WWE, and horrible news for the WWE. Real quick, I didn't have time to make separate videos for these things today, so I'm not going to make separate videos. I could use the views. It would probably been better to make separate videos, but Alexa Bliss has been cleared. She can wrestle again if she so desires. My theory is that they'll let her GM thing play out a little bit longer and possibly get her involved with a feud because she's booking people. Could even be a tag team match with Sasha and Bayley because of what she's been doing to them. So they could, create that into a feud so that she's coming back in a tag match environment and not a one-on-one, having to carry all the load, ease her back in, and let this whole GM story play out a little bit longer. So that's probably what will happen. I don't know. Also, Roman Reigns I believe, is there for the taping of the tribute to the troops. So he will be back on WWE programming for that, and possibly on Raw for a special appearance coming up. That hasn't been 100%ed yet. I'll be doing a separate video on the next piece of news, but the next thing is that, Kenny Omega is going to be having a documentary made about him, which is pretty damn awesome, in 2019. Now, I don't know if they've already started filming for it. I think the filming starts in 2019, but I really hope that they got footage from 2018 as well, because that'd be really cool. And honestly, last year, too, is like 2016 to 2019. If they've been able to follow him that long, it would be hell of a story, I think. But I guess you're going to have to pick your year with Kenny Omega. Probably going to be what they have to do. Photos of empty seats last night at Raw. So many photos last night. I didn't get to see a lot of them because, as you know, my Twitter is down until Thursday. I don't have my Twitter account until Thursday. I'm unable to tweet. We had reports all day long that tickets were being sold for $20 in the lower bowl. The lower bowl area, you could confirm that story by taking a look at Ticketmaster, WWE's own ticket page, and, of course, some of the places like StubHub and things like that. That was confirmed when we saw this. not only was the upper level here empty, right up here, this whole upper area, that's all tarped off and empty, but you also had this area. They couldn't tarp it off because there's a sporadic amount of people around. This middle section tarped off where the hard cam is all the way down. This whole section completely tarped off. This whole section not tarped off but missing. This would go on throughout the night with, this was like the middle of Raw, by the way. So, you're missing, oh my God, are you missing? I mean, you're missing a quarter of the arena. 1/4 of the arena was not sold for a Monday Night Raw. That is unbelievable. It might be more than 1/4 too. It might be, it's not half either. It's probably 1.5 out of 4 because this is kind of like there's people here or there spread apart. But that is one of the worst we've seen. We've seen a few where this is empty, this is empty, this is empty, and even sometimes that this is half empty. So with it being so, like sparse like that and the upper decks being kind of like filled in slightly, it's just one of the worst. It's one of the worst we've ever seen. There's no lie to that. It's just one of the worst we've ever seen. You can't make this stuff up. It makes sense that there's less people there because, the viewership is way down. And the viewership is way down because the product sucks. And here, this is when Sasha and Bailey were in the ring. By the way, for anybody who doesn't believe me, some people out there be like, oh, that was during the pre-shows or whatever the hell else you want to say. Well, it wasn't, because here is Sasha and Bailey in the ring during that segment with Alexa Bliss. And as you can see, we've confirmed that almost empty, completely pretty much empty, except for the front here, right up here. Pretty much almost empty here, pretty much almost empty here. So that is, and then also tarped off completely over here. So this is completely tarped off. And the upper decks are almost empty up here, about less than half full on the complete balcony area. So those were tickets. These were being given reportedly and also confirmed to have been giving away for some given away, some for $20. You can't give away Raw tickets. You cannot give away Monday Night Raw tickets. You cannot find somebody who will go to a free 4-hour wrestling event, a free show, a $20 show. You cannot find people that will go to that show, a show that's broadcast on television. Can't find people to go to it. I've been saying this since the beginning, since before anybody, by the way. And I'm not trying to pat my own back here. I'm trying to explain that to all the nitwits that think that I'm somehow new to this. I'm not new to this. Okay? I've been saying this for a long time. Besides Blitzy Bald Man from Chicago, there was no one else talking about this the way I was. And I talked about all of it as a whole, not about John Cena every second. Did this before Mustang Man, JD. Before anybody. I was on here complaining about WWE Raw, and you can look that up for yourself if you don't believe it. And you can see who started doing these wrestling criticisms first. And I've been saying since the very beginning, when I started these, in about 2009, I started ranting on YouTube about it. And it wasn't until 2012 that I made this a full-time show. 2011. If you really want to go back to just wrestling videos that I was uploading. And I said, the ratings are going to get worse, man. Something's going to happen eventually with this. If they keep going this way. But it wasn't that bad back then. We were kind of saying, if things go bad, you could see this get really bad. You could see attendance drop, all these things. And, every once in a while, there'd be good shows, bad shows, good shows, bad shows. And you'd be like, Raw was great tonight. Raw was bad tonight. But for the last 2 years, pretty much the last 2 years, Raw has always been bad. By the way, WrestleCrate.com. I got to give them some love, man. These boxes are awesome. It's Christmas time, right? Holiday time, whatever you celebrate. WrestleCrate.com. Go to WrestleCrate.com and enter in coupon code Joe Sent Me. I don't know if the UK code works, but they got WrestleCrate in the UK. Autographs from WWE people, autographs from all kinds of wrestlers, T-shirts, all kinds of shit. We're going to open up this one in a minute. Let's open up this and see what's in it in a second. WrestleCrate.com. They come in a nicer box now, too. They come in like a pretty little orange box with wrestling stuff on it. This was their old style. Their second iteration, or their third iteration. Their first one was like, I don't know, whatever. It was like 5 years ago. WrestleCrate.com. Use coupon code Joe Sent Me. Monthly subscription box. It's fun to get it every month in the mail. It's a bunch of cool wrestling shit. You're going to love it. Open yours. If you open yours, make sure you send it to me, tweet it to me, message me, tell WrestleCrate you found it because of me, and spread the love, man, for WrestleCrate.com because they're good guys. Family started business originally. And, dude, you can't ask for anything more than WrestleCrate.com. Let's see. By the way, you ever cut a hole open in one of these boxes and try to F it? Anyway, well, there. Raw's SmackDown's tonight, and that's in a little while. So I'm looking forward to SmackDown tonight. I guess there was a nice preview on Raw for SmackDown. It was actually a really good. Whoever edited the piece, it was beautiful. It was intense. It was like the new Daniel Bryan, and who's gonna challenge? Like, it was really well done. There was only 2 things that they're advertising, but I was hyped for both of them. So, not hyped, but I was kind of like, that's pretty cool. So I got to give them credit for whoever created that video package. That was one of the best selling points I've seen in a long time. And that's a stupid video package. Probably won't even be close to that exciting tonight. But that video package, that was exciting. They did a great job. My name is Joe Cronin, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe down below. Don't miss out on the daily videos, the daily wrestling podcasts. Wednesday night is out of nowhere, a couple hour-long podcast with a panel and your calls and everything else. 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. tomorrow, Wednesday night. Thursday night throwdown on my other channel, which is youtube.com/corruptedpodcast. And listen, for God's sake, you bums, become patrons, because that's where the party is. That's where the JCS army is. And that's where the 30 hours of bonus MP3 download podcasts, content, the videos that I can't show you on YouTube, the mature shit that's just a little too far for YouTube. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. And not only are you going to get 30 hours of bonus content, but you guys keep my show running. If you don't buy my stuff, I don't have stuff to sell. And if I don't have stuff to sell, I don't have podcasts to make. And if I don't have podcasts to make, then you don't have content to listen to. And I'm doing stocking shelves and driving a car again, and I'm off YouTube. So it is vitally important that if you love the show, come check out Patreon, man. Just go check it out, even if you don't know if you're going to sign up. Check out the tiers and the rewards. $5 a month gets you 30 hours of bonus content. There is nobody providing that amount of content on YouTube and Patreon than me right now, I don't believe. Unless it's like there's like 10 people on one channel and they're all working on tons of shit. I'm doing almost all of it by myself. But we got Jesse with me on a podcast, me and Jake's podcast, me and Leah's podcast, my wife, plus the Corrupted podcast on the weekends, private hangouts. I'll talk to anybody individually anytime you want. You can do a podcast with me. You get a producer credit on the description box down below. There's a bunch of shit on Patreon. And then you can download the app on your phone and save your data plan and all that other bullshit. It sells itself. There's 345 of you on Patreon right now. And we had our biggest month. I've had a Patreon for 4 years. 4 years. And last month was our best month ever on Patreon. The numbers keep going up. It's the opposite of Raw. My Patreon is the opposite of Raw. Because I'm delivering mass amounts of content and audio and entertainment that you can't hear all on YouTube. And I guess it's good because people not only continue to support, they raise their pledges. I got a guy who said he felt guilty because I put out so much content and he listens to so much of it that he only gave $5 a month. He raised his fucking Patreon to $25 a month. That's crazy. But anyway, that was the biggest ad I could do. And I know you guys understand. I don't really make much of anything off the ads on here. So I have to do my own ads. And so I apologize for babbling on about myself for 5 minutes. But hopefully it was somewhat entertaining. If you guys have anything you want to talk about pertaining to wrestling that I mentioned in this clip or something that you've been thinking about, please write it down below and I'll try to respond to it tonight, maybe on the Smackdown review or later on in another video. Enjoy Smackdown tonight. I hope it's a lot better than Raw, hopefully. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. And I hope Roman Reigns is getting better, man. Nothing but thoughts and love for him. And let's hope the medical people do their deal. And his body does the deal. And even though whatever the hell with his character, let's hope that he does that he gets better, man. Especially around the holidays for his family and his kid and shit like that. I want nothing for the best for people, man. I don't want anybody to be sick. A lot of our family members are dying. People are getting cancer. People that we love are sick. And some of us are struggling because of Christmas or holidays or whatever it is. Hold on to the hope, man. It's that holiday season. I know that people can get really depressed right now. Stick with me, man. If you have problems, please reach out to Jesse at JesseJJCS on Twitter. Ask him about his services. Reach out to me if you want, just in DMs. I'll talk to anybody. If you're having problems, I'll talk to you. We'll talk about it. We may even do a show where we can all talk. It's a very depressing time of the year, even though it's a great time. And so I just want to say, man, there's always somebody here. The JCS community, the JCS Army, we're all here for you. Don't do anything stupid. And, you got to get yourself out of holes a lot of times, but you got some support here, at least, I think, as much as we goof around. All right. Here's some videos that I've done that you might have missed. They're popping up now on your screen. Give them a like or give them some love and watch them. And tell YouTube that you love listening to this crazy shithead by clicking on one of these. Otherwise, on the top right, that's a link to my Patreon page. On the top right, it's popping up now. Feel free to go there and check out what Patreon's all about. The app is free. You can cancel anytime. And there's 30 hours of content a month for $5 a month. And there's a bunch of other tiers. Have a good day. I'll see you after SmackDown Live right here on The Joe Cronin Show.